So delighted to have you join us on Global Morning this beautiful Wednesday morning. We're reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and with me right here is my colleague.
Hi, Ramsey. Good morning.
Good morning, Priscilla.
A beautiful Wednesday morning. I trust the the week has been coming beautiful for you. And then after the whole protest yesterday,
yes,
the atmosphere
finally
is still, do we even say finally? I don't think it's time to say finally for the protesters though, because there seems to still be a clause.
Yes, well, there is this saying in Pidgin that at all, nine bad pass,
right? Okay.
Yes, but then I don't know if those guys will now rest and said, okay, all right, let's just leave the streets. Because the plan was intensive. What people were planning, what Nigerians were planning, I think it would have escalated to the various states.
Of course.
Not just in front of the National Assembly and the seat of power, FCT.
Of course. It would have been, it would have been something
but
else.
the tension has doused down.
Yes, the tension has calmed down.
Yes.
Everybody's at least relieved to an extent, because the power or the voice of the people somehow has been heard.
The voice of the people have been heard,
yes.
and that's a good one, and of course it's a beautiful one. The issue of insecurity in Nigeria, sometimes you will think that things are getting better, but you keep hearing of strikes here and there, banditry, kidnapping. Look at what happened in Imo State. Well, while I was actually reading that news, when I came to that report, I was a bit not comfortable for that kind of thing to have happened in that state. With the images that we saw, it's only God that can tell for how long these people have been operational. They may tell you they've been there for 5 years. Probably they were there for the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You see all those bones and all of that, you know. So the security situation in this country, it appears this thing has been there before now. You know, in 2015, all right, what was prominent is terrorism, Boko Haram. That's what a lot of people know. But going to places like Imo State, what would you call that? Is that one? Can we also say that is terrorist attack? No, these are criminal elements, and these people are found in almost all states of Nigeria. You know, carrying out different activities. I don't know the Orji story. That man that claimed to be a madman that was in a dustbin that was carrying out his activity that was caught back then. These people exist. You know, they just disfigure themselves, just turn themselves to something else because they want to carry out some nefarious activities. You know, this is becoming worrisome to our country. A nation where people are hungry, where the economy is not favorable to an extent, then we still have people's lives being taken. Some for spiritual reasons, for money rituals and whatever reason.
Well, I think the crux of the whole matter is the fact that these things are anything that has to do with, I don't know if this particular case is a money ritual case though, but the whole insecurity has been one of the menaces of this administration, right? It has been existing from time past too, but this administration's the impact of this very administration has been really grave. And I would say that most of the people that carry out these activities do that for some, you know, financial benefits, whether we like it or not. Money, hunger, and everything is still the driving force. It's still the driving factor to this evil, these crimes that exist in our nation. So if we want to tackle it from the roots, of course, lack of awareness too, lack of proper education, lack of proper enlightenment is still at the top of, you know, the reasons why people would want to engage in stuff like this. So if we say we really want to solve insecurity and all the criminal elements in our society, I think it's to start from enlightening the people. Take education seriously, you understand, and then make the economy a bit friendly for people. Once there is hunger in the land, you cannot take away these elements. People will do anything, I mean anything, to survive. anything to survive. We're not talking about luxury at this point, but there are people that at this point in their lives in Nigeria, at a time like this, they cannot afford. Who is talking about 3 square meals? I don't know when last you ate 3 square meals though.
See,
but who is even talking about 3 square meals again? We're not even talking about 3 square. We're talking about at least being able to eat once a day right now. That is the reality of a lot of Nigerians now. To afford good food that will be able to sustain you once a day, it still feels like luxury to families out there. Not talk of twice a day. So we must tackle poverty. We must tackle poverty. Corruption is still, eating us up. People would come out and budget billions and trillions of naira to tackle insecurity. But somehow, I don't know where the money goes to. I don't know if it's really put in place. I don't know if it's used to, purchase all the kinds of gadgets and, ammunitions that our security forces need. So, first of all, tackle poverty. Let there be free schools in states, across all states. At least the government schools should be made free. People should be able to know that, because when you don't have basic education, anybody can convince you to do anything. Anybody can tell you anything is good, and you will buy it. You will believe it, because you have not been well educated. So if we tackle proper education, we tackle poverty in the society, we have reduced these things by 50%. We know that the remaining 50% will be those that have a character default and all of that, and somehow can still be influenced by the good people, by more good people in the society.
Yes, I think that's true. I accept with you. I think I'm on the same page. If we have majority of Nigerians doing the right thing, there is that tendency that other people will follow suit.
Yes.
And that's what we're asking for. But then, how can a lot of people, this is Nigeria, people look up to the high-ranking officers in the society. Some people believe that the high-ranking officers, hardly before you see people faulting them. All right? Whether they are doing the right thing or they are doing the wrong thing, whoever they are, you still have people seeing them as mentors and role models.
Yes.
Some of them without them even knowing.
Yes.
So if the leaders, the influential people, the celebrities in quote, would live a very good life, all right, so that people can emulate them, it will also help the society.
True.
I'm going to talk about the high rate of divorce that we have today among celebrities. That is translating into something else in the society. I've heard people, I've interfaced with ladies who said, I prefer to be a single mother, and all of that. Not knowing the root cause, of why some persons are single mothers today, and not knowing what those people are going through. But they just look at what those people are saying on social media, all right, and just follow it. Recently, everyone was excited when there was a reunion between a celebrity and the husband after 10 years.
Talking about
the excitement. That's to tell you that despite the fact that some persons are influential, they are rich, they still need this union.
Yes.
Oh, you understand?
Of course.
So there are so many things that we need to do for other people to copy. If we have a lot of good people, all right, then we'll begin to say, okay, the number of good people outweigh that of the bad people in quote that we have in the society. Then gradually you see the society becoming good, because this is a part of the world where most things are done based on number. The popular vote, majority of a thing, this is what everybody is doing, this is what is in vogue, and everybody go doing it. All right, everybody go do those things. So if we can try as much as possible as Nigerians, both the leaders and the subordinates and everyone can try their best and ensure that in their own little space, they try to be good, do something that is worthy of emulation, then we can have a better society. The reason why we have criminals everywhere today is, you just talked about it, people can't feed. People can't feed. A hungry man is an angry man. It's just like these guys, when they take some stuff, they misbehave.
Yes.
Because at that point, they are not in charge of themselves.
Yes.
The same thing is applicable to a hungry man. When a man is hungry, they tend to go extra mile to do certain things until they satisfy that hunger.
Yeah.
The same thing is applicable to the poor man. You know, I've heard a lot of people asking their mates, their friends, or people around them, their neighbors, associates, guy, what are you doing? Where do you get all this affluence, this money from? Man, I'm interested, and all of that. And that is why we see people get into all these occultic things, all this ritual thing, all this menace that is trying to take over the society. But I think our security operatives will need to rise up to the occasion, and we don't have to leave it all for the security operatives. Every individual, from the family level, our traditional leaders, our religious leaders, everyone needs to rise to the occasion. If you see something, say something. Talk to these people, advise them. Let's have a sanitized society.
Well, I like the fact that you say we all have our parts to play, and Nigerians must know this. Now, if you look at what is happening, what has happened in, with the whole protest, it shows that you are influential. The fact that someone calls, or you see a celebrity online and calls themselves an influencer, they've worked to an extent, it's a daily input of work. So you as an individual, you should know that you have the ability to influence. It's just to move a genuine cause. It's just to say, because the guy that started this is, I think it was Peter Randy that started the whole movement. It's just, he's a man, a human being like you, right? Somebody with the same, with the same makeup. He doesn't have two heads like they would always say, but he was able to say, okay, I have a meaningful movement, and I think I would have like minds. And he calls for it. Before you know, you had the likes of Peter Obi joining, the likes of Showeri joining, the likes of, what's his name?
Aisha
Yusufu, and even this our former State Rivers governor
Amechi and his son.
Amechi and his son. So Peter Randy is able to bring these people together because there is a genuine cause, and it is something that resonates on the heart of this. I'm
going to ask you a question when you're done. Continue.
That joined this movement. That goes to tell you that Nigerians, whoever you are, Nigerian youths especially, I want to direct this to us. You have the ability to make a change.
That's true.
It was in such a time where the social media, the internet would amplify your voice. You cannot even, it's not like it used to be in those days. So I'm just trying to highlight the fact that we have a responsibility. As little as you think you are, you can actually be as powerful as you want to be. If only you have a genuine intention. That genuine intention it's like an energy that you cannot explain, that will bring other energies together, and before you know it, you are making the right steps. Our leaders themselves are they're already feeling the impact. We have the ability to even impact them. We have the ability to change them if they have said they are
to influence their decisions. Sometimes it may not be all the time.
It's not even obvious. We just influence their decision. Who would ever have thought that, okay, they would bring such a bill and call for an emergency meeting? That couldn't have happened without the protest. I tell you. So we can do it. I just want to encourage Nigerian youths. You can do it.
We can do it. We can do it. You can do it. We can do it. I want to ask you a question. I said I was going to ask you a question. Should I ask?
Please go ahead.
I'm thinking, when you were talking about around the Peters, I was thinking of something. Is it possible for us to have a time in this country when all celebrities, celebrities, religious leaders, civil society organizations, the so-called influential people, the Cubanas, the Adelekes, every one of them,
the Whiskey,
all of them. Is it possible for us to have a time in Nigeria that will come together under one umbrella and said, we want to be anti-politics and be ready to oppose any decision or policy that will not be in favor of Nigerians? That is, we are more passionate about the country and the average Nigerians. Is that a possibility? Can we have it? Even if it is not 100%, is it possible to have a percentage that is at least loud enough all right, to cause a change. I'm saying this because of what you said about Randy Peters.
It has happened before. And I see it happening again.
The NSAS.
Yes, it happened during the NSAS. The NSAS movement brought about the whole the Labour Party movement that brought about Peter Obi. I think it was a result of the NSAS movement, the genuine interest of Nigerians. During the Peter Obi movement, during the 2023 elections, you see that not so many celebrities were bought over. There were celebrities that came out and stood for the truth, regardless of whatever it was.
Irrespective of threats.
Irrespective of, we saw Nigerian celebrities in 2023, stand up for someone that did not say, I'm going to pay you. I'm buying you over to come and campaign for me. Genuinely stood up for Peter Obi. I'm not saying he's the best of men, but that movement was organic. That's what I'm trying to highlight. And I see it repeating itself in 2027. Yes. It has already started with the whole, demand for the electronic transmission of results. This is where it started. It's starting from. And our leaders have sensed it. They know that these people are united. The power is in the hands of the people. The power is in your hands, in my hands. It's not in the hands of the politician. They know how, if the people are united, they know what's the effect. Now you would want to think, why would APC why wouldn't they fold their hands? They have lots of governors occupying the seat. As a matter of fact, I think they are dominant. Yeah. Dominant in political positions in the country. You would think that they would just fold their hands.
Even at the national
but they are still working. They are still working hard.
They have to work.
They keep working hard because they know that the power is in the hands of the people.
All right, people, you got the power. So let's see what's going to happen. Yes, I think I need to talk about this. Okay. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oloyede, says the federal government must deliberately build the capacity of men and officers of the Nigerian police force, all right, and the security and civil defense corps in the ongoing war against insurgency. A lot of people have complained about capacity, about welfare of our officers, about the kind of arms that they have compared to, all right, what the terrorists have. One of the things that stood out for me is that the Chief of Defense Staff, all right, is not saying the army, all right, it's even talking about the police. There was a time in this country that you identify, if you see a policeman from a distance, you see their uniform. Some of them have very faded uniform. Their shoes is nothing to talk about. Some of them even go as far as, one of the things, I don't want to say this, but there is this belief that police barrack, okay, is one of the lowly rated barracks. If you want to talk about Naval Barrack, Air Force Barracks, Army Barracks, I think Police Barrack is one of the lowly rated barracks, all right, in Nigeria. But for the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oloyede, to come out and say, federal government, we need to do this. At least if you want somebody to fight insurgency, the person needs to have capacity. Fighting insurgency is not just to carry arms and go face this man. There is a level of intelligence that you need. All right? Your welfare. You can't be thinking of two things at the same time. Like my pastor will say, if you're thinking about poverty, if you're thinking about what will I eat, you can sit down in church and just be listening to what the pastor is saying, but your mind is somewhere else. Yeah. It's the same thing with these our military officers. You may be thinking of your wife, your children at home, your welfare, how are they faring, how are you faring, after this, what's going to happen, and all of that. You won't concentrate, and this is a problem. But I'm giving kudos to the general for identifying this loophole of necessity for capacity building.
Of course, it's only logical that before you send someone to go out there to fight for you, take care of their families, because you distract them when you don't equip them with all they need to take care of the welfare of their family. You can't be on the battlefield thinking about not just what you will eat, but what your family will eat. It will distract you. I mean, it's common sense. It's not so much as this is something that a primary 1-year-old. It's not supposed to be a national conversation at this point with all the insecurity ravaging Nigeria. No. We should be long past. We should have gone past this for long ago, because I mean, we need to do better. It's part of the reasons. It's not far-fetched. The reasons why we're having everything. This is part of it. Our men cannot go out there and give their best if they're not well taken care of. That's what I would say. I think we head straight right now to the inspiration, right? As our viewers will get inspired for today. So...
Yes, we'll take a quick break now so we can bring you inspirationals. And after inspirationals, we will come in with the national dailies. Let's bring to you also the headlines.
Up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debates, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
for the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
It's another beautiful day, and I'm so excited to have you right here, where you can watch me from wherever you are, in Nigeria, in America, in Canada, in Europe, in Asia, everywhere, this very beautiful day. Today, I just want to encourage someone. What I do is to ensure and make you understand that the road to success is very broad, yeah? But then, so many persons are competing for the same thing that you are competing for. But you have everything that it takes to be the one who will achieve that success. On your journey of achieving success, so many things will happen on the way. But then, you are a destined successful man, successful woman. And you need to know this first of all before you get started. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Welcome to your success tip. You can start where you are. That's it. You can start where you are. Where you are does not matter. I tell people oftentimes that where you are at a particular time does not really matter, but what you do with where you are. There is this saying that as far as you can see, you can actually seize it. Now let's get to talk briefly about this all-important discussion today. What are you seeing? What's in front of you? What are the obstacles that you're seeing? The obstacles that you are seeing, are you seeing some success ahead of the obstacle? But people who are not scared of work, heavy duty, oftentimes they get to success easily. But sometimes you come dressed in form of work, but if you are the lazy type, if you are the type who doesn't want to do anything, just want success to come from heaven and just land on you, no. It doesn't happen that way. So what am I trying to establish? You need to start from where you are. Whatever you need to do. A lot of people are complaining every day. Some people complain more than the action. You're talking more, and there is less of action. How would you get to your destination? What you need to do as a young man, a young woman, irrespective of age, is to start from where you are. let me tell you something about vision and accomplishment. There is a space, all right, between your vision and the period of accomplishment. Whatever that does not have a time it's not permitted to happen. Let me say that clear. Anything that does not have a timeline, that does not have a date, does not have the permission to come to fulfillment. So whatever you want to do from where you are, give it a date, give it a timeline, and pursue it. Write the vision, make it plain, pursue it, run after it, break it into bits. This is what I want to do. Some people don't even have their to-do list. And that's the reason a lot of people are confused today. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. That's the motto for today's discussion. All right? First of all, start where you are. Secondly, use what you have. Instead of complaining, start with what you have. A lot of people are potential entrepreneurs. A lot of people are potential CEOs, but their visions have died on their inside because of limitation. And the worst limitation is that one that comes from your inside, the one you impose on yourself. And that's the reason I am being, I just feel like talking about people who are stagnated today. That stagnation that you're complaining of, that you are tying to your environment or maybe to the resources that you have, that's not where the problem is. The problem is because you have refused to start with the little that you have. Do what you can. Do what you can. You can start alone, first of all, before you begin to have staff. Start it first. If you grow in a particular business to a particular point in time and you feel, all right, at this time, this is what I need to get to the other level, then I'm being limited by capital. You can meet one or two persons, share your idea with them, all right? And people can buy into your idea and sponsor your idea. Where you are now is not a limitation. The only thing that is the limitation is the fact that you have refused to start from where you are. You have refused to use what you have. You have refused to do what you can to push your vision forward. What am I trying to emphasize today? I want you to know that, let me ask something. How many dreams have died because someone was waiting for the perfect moment? There is nothing like the perfect time. The present time is the best time. If you had started that business yesterday, only God knows where you would have been now. That's your vision. I don't know why I'm talking about business today. It's like someone listening to me right now is supposed to start a business that the person has not started, maybe because the person feels there is no enough fund or there is no an enabling environment. I hear people complain all the time. We don't have an enabling environment no matter how the environment is. Get started first. All right? Things will fall into place. Some people say, I will start when I have the money. I will begin when I have the right equipment. I will take the first step when everything is in place. But no, it is beyond that. The truth is this: there will never be a perfect time. The perfect time is now. All right? The perfect time is when? It is now. According to Arthur Ashe, let me just give you this quote. The legendary tennis champion once said, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That's what we're building on today. He didn't have the fanciest equipment. He didn't train in the best facilities, but he had willpower, what we call willpower. What you need to do, you need to have what we call the willpower and the courage to start with what you have. You see, greatness, as a matter of fact, doesn't wait for perfection. It grows through progress. It's a progress. It's a progressive thing. Use that old phone, your handset. Use those old materials that you have. All right? That quiet voice. Just follow what that voice is telling you. Because what you have right now is enough to begin. The seed doesn't complain about not being a tree. It just grows where it's been planted. And every big dream starts small. You see the tree growing gradually until it becomes a tree, becomes a forest, and people go there, all right, to make use of it. Every expert was once a beginner, and every victory begins with a step. So what are you waiting for? Just take that step today, and you will get to your destination. You will get to fulfillment. All you have to do is just to take that step first. Just make that move. Well, if you can, just take that one step. Send that email, make that call, write that post, record that video. You already started a chain reaction towards your future already without you knowing. Finally, before I let you go, I want you to know that you need to take an action. Don't wait for the stars to align. Move and they will follow you. Your dream is waiting on your courage, not on your comfort. Start now. When do you have to start? Start now. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. And before you know it, you are already a talk of the town, a sought after, a success personified. And everyone, I told someone yesterday, I said, success have many brothers, but failure is an orphan. No one wants to identify with a failure. You will never be a failure. You are a successful man, you are a successful woman. Congratulations to you. This is where I will be stopping in this episode. My name is Ramsey. Once again, see you at the other side of success. Bye-bye.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
You just have to be inspired by that, because I am. We dive now straight to the newspaper review segment, and we're starting off with the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard newspaper, first story above the nameplate zone, tax revenue jumps 30% to 28.3 trillion naira in 2025. Okay. Next story is on Rivers crisis. Wike commits to peace, Lord Tinubu's intervention. I wonder what went down behind the scene. There's a writer to that says Fubara promises to fulfill Wike's wish. Next story, federal government ASU deal sparks outrage as only Unijust confirms payment. Okay, this is not going to be funny because during the last meeting they had at the TED Fund venue with ASU federal government agreement, it was said that at the end of the month, salaries will be paid according to the new agreement. And on what we're seeing here, we're seeing that only UniJOS has confirmed payment. Is it that other universities are yet to confirm? Maybe they have received, but they are yet to confirm, or
maybe they are angry because of the delay.
The delay. Okay, it has actually lingered. The month ended some 2 weeks ago. Yes, and we are just getting a confirmation of payment today or yesterday. Or is it that they are just...
Well, they will get it. Maybe some persons really don't want to confirm now, or maybe they feel it's not necessary coming out to do a confirmation.
No, the
person who sent the money, all right, should know if the money has been delivered, if the money is there already. Okay. So all we want to see is, let's see the projects, let's see the things coming up, let's see...
Well, this is about their salaries and
let's see, yes, the salary, yes, let's see the turnout of lecturers.
Yeah.
Let's see the assignment. Let's see the excitement in the face of the students and even the lecturers. You know, when lecturers have money, if they come to class, it's not hidden.
Yeah.
See, like we were just saying a few minutes ago, if you are hungry, you can't be at your best.
Yes, exactly.
You tend to overlook excellence when there is hunger.
Yes, true. That's deep. Okay, we hope that this is not what we are thinking, because if it is...
audio.
Okay, we go to the next story, and it says Tinubu has strengthened Nigeria's federalism, and that is coming from Bagudu. You find details on page 8. Now on the Star Story. Electoral Act. Rowdy session as Senate okays conditional note. Conditional e-transmission of results. About half a dozen riders to that. Where electronic uphold fails, result sheets to be used for collation. Result declaration. Who determines why and when the upload should fail? What should determine that? Is it our Nigerian?
No. The truth is this. The truth is this. We can't say we want to advance, all right, and we are doing things. I don't know. We are trying to be academic in nature when we are supposed to be at least tech savvy. If we want this thing to work, let there not be an option.
Exactly.
Let there not be an option. It's either it is e-transmission or it is e-transmission.
Exactly.
Like, if there is
so when I give you options, you know that
people will relax now. But there is no need for option. If it is e-transmission, let it be e-transmission. It's just like you telling your children, well, there is rice, there is beans, there is spaghetti,
but
there is swallow, there is this, I know it's rice you people like.
Well, you have, which one would you see? We will eat rice.
If it is this e-transmission, let it be e-transmission. Don't put paper there. The things we need to put in place, the money we'll use for this paper, let's put it together with the money we'll use for the e-transmission to put this tech in place.
Exactly, because when you start having these options, you're already transferring funds to another place. You're going to go print papers.
And then you say,
and then we are spending double. Because
or is it that somebody already has been given the contract to print papers, and the person is saying, God, please let them not cancel this paper. This is Nigeria. This is Nigeria. Somebody said something, this is a very serious situation. But somebody said something. He said, if bandits, kidnappers can be in the bushes, in these villages, and be able to do TikTok video.
Exactly.
Or maybe demand for ransom and make calls and have internet. If they don't know what to do, they should collaborate with these bandits who know how to do it.
I mean, it may sound hilarious, but
when I saw that in last night, I just sat quiet and say, Nigeria, Nigeria.
So I think this obviously looks like I mean, it's
instead of us not having it at all, whether conditional or not conditional, we are moving towards it.
Nigerians are ready. Anyhow, any which way this people want to go.
The protesters, they must have accepted the conditional transmission of.
That's what I'm saying. Even if they choose to accept it, they would make sure it works. Like they will start bringing out because I already saw a post where Honorable Natasha came out to say, please, can INEC partner with Starlink? And she tagged Starlink to that post, right? I've also thought of the same thing. I think I made that post before I even saw hers. We have Starlink.
I think their fiber is strong.
Yes, we don't have to depend on network service providers.
Well, we're not doing advert for Starlink. Well, we are not doing advert. Just go. Any internet provider you know that is strong.
We need a strong internet provider.
Internet cannot be a problem. The way they went abroad and partnered with companies and came up with Beavers. Was Beavers produced in Nigeria? No.
Exactly. So,
they should just do the same thing and get internet into all the nook and crannies of this country.
We had Abia State.
It's possible.
Former governor of Abia State there embarrassing the people of Abia because I'm an Abian. Saying that we don't have network in our village.
Oh, do you have?
Of course we do.
Or our governor, you can see now.
Of course we have network.
One of you is saying there is network. So what you said is a political statement. Because somebody is saying they have network in their villages.
I mean, my father was in Abia State over the Christmas season and we spoke well. There was no crack in network.
That's it.
So what are we saying? Please, I mean, Nigeria must move forward. We don't, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not. So those riders there, Abaribe moves, withdraws motion for division. Amechi holds son to occupy NAS protest ground. I think I liked that part. For me, that was the most interesting part of this protest. Electoral Act alteration threatens Nigeria's democracy. ACF warns public pressure forced Senate reversal on e-transmission of results. That's come from ADC, and I totally agree with that. Let's go to the next story. Tinubu and I are parallel lines that will never meet. That's coming from El-Rufai, former Kaduna State governor. I don't know what transpired, but El-Rufai was at the top of affairs during the campaigns for Tinubu.
See, the
what
truth
went wrong?
No, he felt disappointed.
Well, is it after the elections or during the nominations or during the appointments? Appointment and all
during the appointment.
No, so what happened? What happened?
I don't know whatever agreement they entered into. All right. I don't know whatever transpired. But then after the screening, and you know, Nigerians will not keep quiet. Documents started flying,
yes.
And the Senate had no option to say, well, Oga, with all of this, let's clear this before you can become a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because it was too obvious. Court everywhere, you have a court case and all of that. And of course, prior to that, there was a meeting. After that, there was a meeting with the president. And it's like the basket couldn't hold the water, even though the water was thick. It was not the ordinary water. The water was thick. But then the basket still yet couldn't hold it. And we heard that he traveled abroad, came back, and so many things happened. They couldn't get into the APC and all of that.
Right now he's in the ADC.
And now he's in ADC.
Well,
so any statement coming from him, it may be coming out of the place of accumulated something. I don't know what it is. Accumulated something. So whatever it is, let Nigeria just move forward. Let it not be all about our politicians all the time.
Yeah.
I beg you, just consider the average Nigerians a little bit. Nigeria should just move forward.
Thank you. The next story, Atiku Makinde meets IBB in Mina. Okay, this is the time for meetings upon meetings. You still hear, we will still get to see more of them as the elections approach. Nigeria drops 2 places, ranks 142 out of 182 countries in TI Corruption Index. I think, are you sure we're not cheated? We're supposed to.
We dropped 2 places. Then we rank 142nd.
Are you sure they've not rigged this election?
This thing.
But I mean, that was just on a lighter note, though. But I mean, are we supposed to be in this list? Like, are we not supposed to strive to come out of this? How can we be 142 out of 182 most corruption index? Do you get it? This is a corruption ranking. Do you think we're
Please, Priscilla, let's continue.
Let's
Because if you
continue.
want to talk about corruption in Nigeria, it's a topic.
When we're not supposed to be in this, we're supposed to leave this thing. Like,
Is that what you think?
Yes, we need to strive.
Please,
Like,
right.
We need to
Right. Don't go for protest, but just right.
Okay, so CDS 6 urgent police civil defense overhaul as military warns of capacity limits. That detail is on page 16. Nigeria's GDP per capita once surpassed China, Malaysia when we ignored IMF, and that's coming from Olawepo Hashim. Okay, that detail is on page 40. Finally, we have quitting Chippa United was a tough decision.
That is our goalkeeper,
Nwabali, and details
It's
on
an
page,
Igbo name now. It should be
yes,
a bit
Nwabali, yeah. Detail on page 45. Those are your headlines for the Vanguard newspaper. An
That's your
interesting
brother there.
read. Yeah, we'll go to the Guardian newspaper next.
All right, let's get quickly to the Guardian newspaper. And of course, the Guardian newspaper says Nigeria has spent 3.53 trillion importing raw materials locally available. Why do we import what we already have in Nigeria? That's not a fine one. CISLAC urges action as Nigeria dips in global corruption rating. A court bans Osun local government funds utilization pending end of trial. And now to the Star story on the Guardian newspaper this morning. The Star story says INEC under spotlight as Senate shifts grants on e-transmission. Then you have the picture of the big names there, the INEC chairman, you have that of Akpabio. And of course, this one says Russia denies report of Nigerian mercenaries killed in Ukraine war. Lagos state government seek food water vendors, orders support in war against cholera. Lagos, 12 other states experience longer rainfall in 2026, says NIMET. NIMET is the one saying that. And of course, this one says a zoning row court battles test opposition cohesion ahead of 2027. Academics rule selective implementation of 40% pay rise. And of course, this is going to be the last from the Guardian newspaper this morning. And it says experts urge federal government to criminalize ransom payments to terrorists. Oh, well, that's a big story. Criminalize ransom payments to terrorists.
So
okay.
why are you putting the criminal charge on? The terrorists you have not been able to catch? Or is it the people
Is it
that are
the
going to pay,
terrorists that are going to be
pay the
criminal,
ransom?
or people who are
Paying the
daily, all right, in
Trying to
need
rescue
of
their loved ones. Who are you
All right.
criminalizing?
Who is to be
if you can
criminalized?
criminalize the terrorists, why not go and get them already?
All right.
Why not help rescue the victims without being, who wants to even pay ransom in the first place?
I think that's a big question. And of course, these are the headlines that we're bringing to you today from the Guardian newspaper as we move to the next point of call, which is the Blueprint newspaper.
Okay, so the Blueprint newspaper has its first story above the nameplate, and it is TED Fund intervention in public varsity justification for new tax. That's coming from Professor Ogunyemi. Okay, well, I think I agree with that. I think I agree with that. Okay, let's go to the next story. DHQ to deploy special forces to Kwara, Niger. That's coming from the CDS. Details on page 6. In business, we have, we don't import finished PMS into Nigeria. Dangote Refinery is saying this. You find details on page 19. Poland 2026. Falconets will overcome Senegal in ties, and that's coming from Aduku. That story is on sports. You find it on page 32. On the Star Story, electoral bill, Senate bows, OK's e-transmission of results, manual backup. We're just waiting to see how this plays out. Reconstitutes Harmonization Committee, another committee. Interesting. NRS gets 40.71 trillion naira revenue target for 2026. Detail is on page 20. On Tinubu's intervention, no more discord with Fubara. That's coming from former Rivers State Governor and current FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. There's a writer to that says, Rivers Governor pledges loyalty to deliver Ring Road in October. Okay. I wonder what happened behind the scene. EFCC docks 2 for 600 million naira NNPC job fraud. You'll find that detail on page 15. Why I resigned as NACON chair. That is coming from Usman, and you'll find the detail on page 14. On the funding crippling our operations, ICPC, EFCC cries out. What happens to all the recovered funds, for crying out loud? What is it done? Is there any sort of accountability with the EFCC on recovered funds? I don't think I have seen any. It might exist, but I haven't seen any. Anyways, find details on page 10, I beg your pardon. Finally, we have reforms have increased allocations to state, local governments, and that is coming from Bagudu. Details on page 20. Those are your headlines. I think I had missed out one. Tinubu at NEC. We will ensure our policy felt by Nigerians. Okay, those are your headlines. Headlines from the Blueprint newspaper. I will go to the New Telegraph now.
All right, let's quickly flip through the New Telegraph newspaper this morning and see the headlines that we have on the New Telegraph. Top of the nameplate. All right, top of the nameplate. This one says CBN OK's weekly FX sale of $150,000 to each BDC. And of course, I have this one, which also is the big story. And the big story says Senate approves e-transmission of results, manual collation as backup. Right? I wish there is no backup at all, but now we have it. There is a backup. Then U.S. Congress asked Trump to submit report on strategy to stop targeted killings in Nigeria. This is a serious one. This is a big one. Well, there is a collaboration going on already, so I'm not even surprised about that. I think to a lot of Nigerians, they look at it as a welcome development. All right. Those are the headlines from the New Telegraph this morning, the few that we can take. This one says Nigeria's corruption ranking stall at 142 as Transparency International wants gap. All right, coincidentally, this is the much we'll be able to take from the New Telegraph.
Okay, we go to the next story, and next paper, which is a Daily Independent. Armed forces alone can't solve Nigeria's insecurity challenges, and that's coming from the CDS, I beg your pardon. Next story, Wike optimistic, Tinubu's intervention will end Rivers crisis. Okay, well, at least there is peace, and that is what is most important. The Star Story says, Tinubu asked governors to get to work on jobs, health, infrastructure. Okay. Pledges shift towards pragmatic inclusion of economic model. NEC to expand oil theft committee, partner private sector states. Nenadi Usman-led caretaker committee takes over Labour Party secretariat. That's coming on page 7. Jehosu ends 84-day strike. Federal government leaves no work, no pay on union. That's details on page 7. 10.5 billion naira allocation can't drive Nigeria's blue economy ambition. That's coming from Oyetola, and the details is on page 6. NIMET predicts early onset of rains in southern north central states. Details on page 7. Finally, Senate finally okays mandatory e-transmission of elections results, permits manual upload as backup, sets up 12-man team to work with reps. Lawmakers U-turn shows power of United Citizens. That's coming from the ADC. Okay, this is the final one. Gunmen killed to abduct 14 passengers on Benue Highway.
Benue, everything Benue. What's happening? Benue. It was in same Benue that people were kidnapped from church, keeping a vigil. The same Benue, you can ply the road. What's happening in Benue State? I think Governor Alia should intensify the security operatives actions in Benue State. All right, this is going to be the size of the headlines that we'll bring to you today, but we want you to know that Global Television does not have an editorial contribution to all of these headlines. It is totally that of the various newspaper houses. We'll take a quick break now. After this break, we will return and Ogochukwu will bring us social buzz. Stay with us.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Good morning, crew. Good morning, Nigerians, and good morning, viewers all around the world. It's time for Social Buzz Extra, of course, on Global Television, and we are here to bring you all of the highlights of trending happenings on social media. And today, we're talking about the amended act by the Senate. Senate has amended the Electoral Act for election results to be electronically transmitted. All right, that's a good one. So, Senate has amended the Electoral Act, modifying clause to require the presiding officer to each polling units to electronically transmit election results to the IRF portal. Of course, they said, however, if the electronic transmission fails due to communication stroke network issues, the manual result sheet, which is the form EC 8A, would become the primary source for election to collect results. Okay, and that is where the but is. That's where a lot of persons are saying, no, why bring up a second? It's more like you are bringing an option, another option, like option B, in case we fail. I understand that, but then why not make option A work? Let it work before you start thinking of option B. Option B could be there, it can be there, but why not make the option A work? This is the first time that Nigeria will be transmitting results electronically. So why not make sure that this one works? We have like a few months to it, about a year to the next election, of course. So why not use this time and make it work? That's what Nigerians are saying. So we are going to be taking some comments, but before we take that comment, I would like us to also take a look at a video of this amendment.
The Senate convened an emergency plenary on Tuesday to address growing reactions from Nigerians over its passage of the Electoral Act Amendments Bill. At the heart of the controversy was the Senate's decision to remove provisions mandating the real-time electronic transmission of election results. During the sitting, Senate President Godswill Akpabio began proceedings with the consideration and adoption of the votes and proceedings of the last plenary session. Trouble, however, emerged when the Senate arrived at the section of the bill dealing with electronic transmission of results.
Those in support of the motion as enunciated by Senator Monguno and seconded by Senator Apamoro say aye. And those again say nay. The ayes have it.
The Senate Chief Whip, Senator Mohammed Monguno, raised a point of order citing relevant sections of the Senate standing rules to enable the chamber rescind its earlier use of the word transfer, replacing it with electronic transmission. The motion was subjected to a voice vote and approved.
Electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to IREP portal, and such transmission shall be done after the prescribed form EC8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling unit.
But moments later, the chamber descended into a rowdy session when Senator Einaya Abaribe challenged the outcome, insisting that there was a clear division among lawmakers and calling for a more definite voting process. Despite the protest, Senator Abaribe later withdrew his motion, paving the way for the Senate President to rule on the matter.
Mr. President, I claim a division in respect of we need to vote individually now.
From the outcome of the emergency sitting, the Senate effectively upheld its earlier decision, declining to include the words mandatory and real-time in the provisions for electronic transmission of election results. This means that while electronic transmission remains an option under the amended bill, it will not be compulsory. From the National Assembly, Anieti Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
All right, so you could see how rowdy the Senate House was looking yesterday. The chamber was a bit rowdy because some persons are saying, no, we have to go through the manual means, while the other person are saying, some other persons are saying, okay, let's transmit electronically. But at the end of the day, yes, they've amended it that, okay, we are going to transmit electronically. However, if we do not have enough network, we will definitely rely on the manual means of transmitting results, and that is where Nigerians have the problem, because they feel like we have everything to make sure it works. Well, let's take a look at some of the comments from social media, and we have this one from VVoj, and VVoj says, now watch how they will ensure the network fails that day. We are smarter. They are not ready for free and fair election. It is finished. Okay, some persons are already giving up, but please, I would like us to all, have hopes in this particular transmission of election results. All right, the second comment is coming from Nayeti Badi. Nayeti Basidan says, if there's a network issue, the Form EC8A can be used to collate results manually. Opposition parties must not agree to that, otherwise there will be network glitch on election day. It be like say Unanono APC. All right. The last but not the least, comments coming from Sandridge. Sandridge says, however, if the system fails, rerun and transmit electronically. Sandridge do not want to hear that the system fails. If it fails, we all go home, come back the next day, and we continue. That's what Sandridge is saying. But all right, I do not have, I'm not alone today in the studio. I have with me Priscilla Obasi. Good morning, Priscilla.
Good morning, Ogochukwu. You seem to be excited about this.
I'm excited. It's the good news that we are now, they've accepted, they've amended the act that, okay, we are going to be transmitting electronically. However, that's the votes.
However,
you see, immediately I saw this yesterday, I told myself, why you're already bringing like another option
to
you've not even said, okay, let us do this, we are going to make it work.
Like somebody says, maybe someone has been paid.
The option should be there, but it shouldn't be said out. That's the thing.
Someone has been paid to print the form, so the person doesn't want to lose the contract.
Or perhaps maybe the people printed it,
Well, how
maybe they must have printed it, they must have dropped all of these forms. Like sometimes, to be very honest, sometimes we get to see people from printing even before election days.
Okay, are you saying
weeks before election days?
They have been printed already at this
We've seen videos, some months, some few weeks before election date. So tell me,
about the reasons why we need a recycling agency in Nigeria. We should recycle the papers and use it and make other things. It's possible.
They should shred them
if it has been printed already. But I mean, Nigerians are ready. Any plan they have, Nigerians are like 10 steps ahead because we have intelligent thinkers. We have IT gurus.
We're talking about network. That's what I'm saying. What if the network doesn't work? That's what the Senate is saying. What if we do not have good network? It's poor network.
We have networks that can be partnered with. I don't want to advertise for any brand right now, but there are strong ones. I saw Senator Natasha making a post yesterday on Facebook talking about partnering with networks like Starlink and the rest of them. There are networks that can be used. We don't even have to depend or rely on the network service providers that we have existing. No, there are stronger networks. If you cannot do it, ask Nigerians. There's nothing like this thing being impossible. We shouldn't even have an option, because when you start,
I'm not saying you shouldn't have an option. Of course, there should be option B, but it shouldn't be said out. That's my problem.
Yes,
like for you to even say it out, that means you already do not want option A to work.
Yes,
and like it should just be there.
Like someone commented, why not say if the network is bad? Nigerians are ready to come out, even if you tell us to come.
Cancel the election. We'll go and come back when the election is good. We can have an election run for like a month there.
Exactly. We can even have it any day it's working. We're ready to come out. We don't mind. We don't mind quitting people do not even mind quitting jobs to come and stand on the election. So because when the moment you are able to secure the democracy of this country, we know that jobs will be available. So Nigerians don't mind. But if they want to go that route, they should be aware that all eyes are on INEC. It is not business as usual.
It has to be independent, just like the name says.
It is not business as usual. However they want to do it, they should remember all eyes are on INEC.
I think, thank you so much, Priscilla. Remember, all eyes are on INEC, whether you go manually, whether you go electronically. But everyone in Nigeria, they are all standing for electronic transmission of the election results. Do not do anything apart from transmitting electronically, and that's what Nigeria is asking. I think basically, Nigerians are not really, they don't really want, what they don't want is, you know, giving us what we, you know this, what I ordered versus what I got. They don't want to order something else and get something else. They just want a free and fair election. That is the basics of all of this conversation. Give us free and fair election. I, for one, I really do not care about either whether I'm thumb printing manually or you are doing anything electronically, or I'm thumb printing electronically, or you are giving me the result electronically or manually. What I just want is fairness, equity, and justice. Make sure that you are fair. When you are doing anything, make sure you're fair, and that is to INEC. When you are transmitting the result, make sure you are fair. I understand that even electronically transmitted results can even, you know, they can actually work on them. You can actually work on this. They can, you know, tamper with this result. So most times I even tell myself, okay, why must we even do that? I'm not really all about the transmitting result electronically. Of course, it's going to help to an extent. It's going to bring forth a bit of, you know, fairness somehow. But then people still tamper with this result electronically. We have people that are gurus, IT gurus, that can still do this. So how are we even sure that we are going to get what we actually wanted, what we voted for, or who we voted for? How are we sure that they are going to transmit it the way it is? So, and that is why I keep hammering on fairness. Make sure that it is fair. Make sure it is fair, whether you are transmitting manually, whether the network fails and you are going manually, or you are going the other route. Make sure it is fair. That is what we need at the end of the day. That is what Nigerians are calling for. Make sure it is fair. All right, that's the side of the conversation today on Social Buzz on Global Morning. We wish we had more time, but do not worry. We have other stories, and as they unfold, definitely we'll bring them to your table, as I'll be leaving you in the hands of Ramsey and Priscilla as they take us to the other section, which is the discussion section of Global Morning. I am Ogot Kumobno. Good morning once again, Nigeria.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Nigeria as a nation has gone through so many things as it has to do with the political landscape of Nigeria. We want to look at the state of the nation, doing an assessment of Nigeria's political landscape. So many things going on in the political scene, and these things can be talked about when we have an expert who has been at the middle of this whole scenario to an extent. Joining us on the conversation today is a former lawmaker. He represented the people of Kaduna Central at the Senate, and he's right here with us today. Not just that, he's also an activist. He is also someone that has represented the people of Nigeria at different levels. Joining us on the conversation this morning is Senator Shehu Sani. It's good to have you join us on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you are someone that has been in the Senate, and as a matter of fact, as someone who moved from civil rights activism into the Senate. Let's get started. How would you assess the progress of Nigeria's democracy since 1999?
Thank you for having me in your program for the first time. Well, first and foremost, the nation has been able to withstand phases of challenges, crises, and hurdles in the last 25 years. And this is the first time in the history of our country where democracy has lasted to a quarter of a century. Going back into our history, we have seen how the First Republic lasted only for 6 years. The Second Republic lasted for 4 years. And the Third Republic was a miscarriage. And now we are having 25 years of unbroken civil rule. Our democracy has been positive in most places, and there are also negatives. Negatives is not about the democracy itself. It's about the misgovernance that we have had in the last 2 decades ahead. We have made progress in different areas, and we had challenges in different areas. We have made progress in infrastructure. We have made progress when it comes to the issue of economic reform, wealth creation. These are all progress that we have been able to make. And for the first time in the history of our country, people have been able to elect their representative into office, and there is smooth transition without military takeover. In other areas, we have seen how problems have arisen since the return of democratic rule. We are having security challenges in different parts of the country. We are also having the problem of rising issues of poverty. We are having separatist agitation in a section of a country. We are also having problems that has to do with distrust between the people in government and those that are led. So these are some of the few areas that I can pinpoint, but generally our democracy has endured, and we can do better. We can do better in the sense that if you are going to put in tally the resources that have come into our national treasury in the last 25 years and the developmental structures that those resources have been used for, you can see that corruption has eaten a lot into our system in the last 25 years. So we should appreciate the progress made and also learn lessons from the failure, and also take those challenges as a task before us in order to perfect our democracy. Knowingly, there is no perfect democracy in any part of the world. United States, Britain, you see time and again the issues that comes up that demands reform, that demands alterations, and there will always be altercations. These are progress. These are challenges that we meet on the route of progress. So these are all realities that we face. So we have made progress, and we have challenges, and there are areas which we failed.
All right. Now, let me take you back to your time as a senator representing the Kaduna Central from 2015 to 2019. As a matter of fact, what realities, inside a government that surprised you most compared to your years as an activist? It is a transition, moving from being an activist, then you become a senator. What realities can you see in between these two compared to the current administration that we have?
Well, you see, politics is not a profession. It is a platform where you participate either as a member or as one that seeks political office with the purpose of governance. So you can be a custom officer today, tomorrow you are a politician. You can be a soldier today, tomorrow you are a politician. You can be a teacher today, tomorrow you are a politician. You can be a doctor today, tomorrow you are a politician. In my own case, I have been an activist all my life, right from our student union days to the days of our civil rights activism and the struggle we wage against military dictatorship in this country. And there are fundamental differences between activism and politics. Activists are driven by principles, ideas, and ideals where you pursue them, you advocate for them, you campaign for them, you stand by them. These are standard principles. Whether the activism is for human rights or for gender or for transport or for health or for education, it's still activism. So now in the case is civil rights activism. And in the 90s, our fundamental objective is to overthrow the military regime and restore democracy to our country. And in the process of that, we mobilize our people, we educate our people, and we lead protests, and we go to prison. That's what we do. And then, because once you have an ideal that you believe in, a cause that you are fighting for, you should be ready to go to prison, you should be ready to be arrested, you should be ready to be killed. Because these are the sacrifices you make as a citizen of a nation and also someone that is seen to be symbolic of conscience. Now, that is activism, but in politics is a fundamentally different thing. In politics, you associate and relate with people whose major objective is capture of state power. And in the process, they are not driven by any ideals or ideology. And they can do anything that will simply get them that power. And any person who tells you that politics is all about morality is not true, because you have to live, you have to eat, you have to associate with people you don't even share anything in common. And you have to also sometimes accept, tolerate, or be silent on some things which you don't agree with. That is politics. And politicians are not like activists. Activists say their minds, activists pursue their goals, activists chase their causes, but politicians are not like that. That's why you can see a politician in one political party today and tomorrow is in a political party. And we do it because we see political parties are vehicles, and that the end justify the means in that aspect. So I will give you a simple example of the difference between an activist and a politician. As an activist, if we all meet by 7 p.m. in the night and say the next day we're going to have a protest against poverty, protest against president, protest against policies or programs of government, we now all agree and we simply go to bed and then we assemble in the morning for that mission. In politics, when you meet by 7 p.m. and agree on something, some people will meet by 11 p.m. out of that very group. And then there will be another meeting by 2 a.m. There will be another meeting by 6 a.m. So by the time you come in the morning, after you have gone to bed with that 7 p.m. mentality, you'll find out that it's all a different ballgame. And you discuss with people. Some are there not because they believe in it, but they are there to see whether it will succeed or it will fail. In politics, some will be there to serve as agents of another person. Some will be there for the purpose of sabotaging. Now, this is one difference. In activism, you have people whom you are ready to fight with, they are ready to sacrifice. But in politics, the very person next to you will stab you in the back. And you can't be sure of anybody. So that's why people who are driven by morality as a compass of their life completely, they will find it very difficult to adjust into partisan politics. So these are some of the things I find a bit strange. But since I was determined to be elected into office, I do understand it, and we minimally play by the rules of the politics, and then we now, that's why you find it's going to be difficult for people who are activists money to be elected into office, except when they have to change their gear into politician. And that's why you see, since 1999, there are very few activists that have. There are many of them who have been in politics, but to be elected is something. We only have Ubasani, my friend, who is now the governor of Kaduna State, and I, the senator, and some few others who have been elected.
I want to ask how you successfully occupied both positions, being an activist and also a politician. Is this something that is still obtainable in today's politics? Like you've meant to successfully, there seems to be a wide gap, a wide divide between being a politician and an activist. How were you successfully able to, manage both fronts?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, that you see, when I wake up in the morning and I go through social media posts, and I've seen analysis, I've seen comments by people, some are activists, some are simply ordinary people making their comments, and I knew that such people can't fit into politics. If you look at it very well, and I'm just giving you a hint, you will hardly see a politician. Always, most of the people you call politicians, you hardly see them on social media making any comments. Okay. You hardly see them posting, you hardly see them commenting, you hardly see them analyzing, because they are fully involved in the field. And they don't discuss their plans, and they don't see things, sometimes even things they believe in. Let me give you a typical example. When Buhari died, a typical activist will now be making negative comments about how his government has inflicted hardship, has failed, has done this, has done that, has done that. A typical activist will simply say the truth about the negative sides of the government. But a politician will look at the political implication of what he's saying and look at the popularity of Buhari in the hearts of people and how his words can affect his politics. So he keeps quiet. Not just keep quiet, he will say things he doesn't believe in order to maintain a strong his political base, his political stronghold, and do things which he doesn't believe in. And you can be with a politician who doesn't like you, and he will never show you that he doesn't like you, because he wants to achieve a certain purpose. A politician can bring his enemy close to him and pretend to like him, all for the purpose that he will reduce the poison and the harm that that person will do to him. But in activism, if you are with us, you have to be a comrade. You have to be determined to fight to do these things. So that is different. And that's why you can wake up in a day in a political field and see someone that has simply turned 360 against you. He has never, that is the way politics works.
Okay, let me take you back to when you were at the National Assembly. You were very vocal on issues concerning the insecurity and communal violence in Kaduna State as at then, while in the Senate. Now, has Nigeria, all right, made any meaningful progress in addressing the root cause of insecurity in Kaduna State and Nigeria at large?
Well, it will be foolhardy for anyone to beat his chest and say that we have reached the promised land of security. It will be self-deceit for anyone to say that Nigeria is peaceful, quiet, and secure today. But if we are going to make an objective and realistic comparison between where we come from and where we are, I can confidently and audaciously say that we have made progress. Kidnapping is still going on in Kaduna, in Niger, in Katsina, in Zamfara. Bandits are still operating, terrorists are still using even drones in the northeastern part of Nigeria. But if you look at it, the National Security Advisor, Ribadu, has been able to wield our security apparatus system and coordinate the system very well. Today, many of the top bandits and terrorists have been eliminated. Okay. Our schools have been more secured. Under the Buhari administration, we have seen hardly a month passes without students being kidnapped. Let us be realistic with ourselves. You remember the kidnapping in Dapchi, you remember the kidnapping in GSS Kankara, you remember the kidnapping in GSS Jengibe, you remember the kidnapping of Federal Government Girls College Yauri, you remember the kidnapping of Federal School of Forestry Kaduna, you remember the kidnapping of Bethel Baptist High School Kaduna, you remember the kidnapping that happened in Government Science College Kagara, this Angaya in Tegina, this Angaya in Sokoto. All of these things happen. But when last have you heard that terrorists have raided a school and kidnapped students? So this is not coincidence. Someone is doing something about it. Okay. And then secondly, Kaduna to Abuja. In the past, you have not less than 6 to 7 kidnappings every day. True. But when last have you heard bandits have stopped people? For many years, I've never used vehicle to pass through that road, but recently I've been able to do that. And remember the attack on our trains. Now, if you are in a train moving from Kaduna to Abuja, you will see military posts in the bushes along those areas. Someone is doing something about that. So, tragically, there was kidnapping in Kaduna recently, and the massacre that happened in Kwara State. Yeah. But since Obasani took over government of Kaduna State, he identified security as one of the most important issues that he should prioritize. And he did that using both kinetic and non-kinetic approach to the matter. And many areas that have been inaccessible are now open to the public. The road to Binningwari that used to be one of the most dangerous roads in the country is now open. People can travel even up to 12 midnight. And the kidnapping that happened in Kauru local government, Kajuru local government, is something that happened, but it takes days for the governor to get them out. Now, you compare in Federal Government Girls College Yauri, when the students were kidnapped, they were in the hands of bandits for almost 1.5 years. So this, hardly you hear any kidnapping here now that lasts for long, and because someone is actually doing something about that. So the unfortunate thing is that these terrorists are not directly under one command. You can either deal with one or exterminate one and their orders. This is the battle of our time. You can't achieve 100% security. Even the United States, which is a superpower, cannot do that. With all their pressures on us, one person with a gun can enter into a grocery store and kill as many people, or enter into a school in the US. It happened repeatedly in the United States. So I can confidently say that under President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, we have made progress in security, but we have not been able to completely exterminate or annihilate terrorists and bandits in this country. And this is a war that we have to continue to fight, and we have to continue to arm our security agencies, fund them, use technology to the highest point until we achieve what we want to achieve.
Okay, there is something, before you come in, while we're still talking about Kaduna State, during the El-Rufai administration, there were a lot of accusations. People said so many things, you know, as in negligence to the situation then, the security situation in Kaduna State then, when El-Rufai was the governor of Kaduna State. What is your opinion? And because I'm saying this because there's been an intervention right now by external body. We have the US coming in, and other persons, like we have someone now who is facing the judgment, the court judgment, as it has to do with financing terrorism and all of that, the naming and shaming of sponsors of terrorists in connection to what happened in Kaduna State. What's your perspective based on the statements that were made by the public allegedly when El-Rufai was in office?
Well, first of all, when Nasru was in office in Kaduna State, security was never a priority. And I do throw this challenge. Have you ever seen at any time where vehicles, motorcycles, a large number have been paraded at the stadium or at a public park that is the nation to security in Kaduna State from 2015 to 2023? No. The security forces in Kaduna State, but the police, the military, were never supported by Kaduna State government. And it wasn't much of a priority to him, apart from the fact that he not only, and our students are in schools, and people attend their mosques and churches, even this Sunday. So this is what you can see in Kaduna State. When kidnapping happens, when he was in office, he just does nothing. And that's why you can see when passengers were kidnapped along Kaduna Abuja, many of their family members have to pay a heavy ransom to get them out. And in the Federal School of Agri-Mechanization in Mando, in the outskirts of Kaduna, over 200 students were kidnapped. They have to pay about 300 million naira in ransom. Oh. Their parents have to sell their properties, have to borrow money. And then the Greenfield University, where about 5 students were killed, the parents of those students have to pay ransom to get them out. The same thing with Bethel Baptist, that I personally paid a visit to that school. So people were simply left to fend for themselves. It reached a point where people with houses in the outskirts of Kaduna will leave it and come to the city and rent inside the city, rent houses and stay. But now it's all cleared. So there was no serious effort, no serious funding on security matters when he was a governor of the state. So I wonder how such kind of person can even have the effrontery of raising issues of security when he was there and he couldn't secure his state during his own very time, where his actions, his words, his conduct and the activities of his government have only worsened security during his time.
So let's talk about 2027 elections. You seem you are well in the forefront in, driving good governance and all of that. There seem to be, with the whole defections, with the whole structuring and policy, especially around the electronic voting transmission and all of that, just recently by the House of Representatives. What would you say? Do you think 2027 will give us a better elections than what we've had in 2023? What do you think about the defections happening in parties? Are we gradually going towards a one-party state? And how does all of this affect our democracy?
Well, you see, every election is different from the one it succeeded, in the sense that you have more people, you have more issues, different issues. You have different candidates, so there is that difference. So the spirit of 2027 will be different from that of 2023. Either some people have been converted or some people have been detached. Whether some people have expectations have been met, or some people were disappointed. So you are bound to have these changes. Defections are political survival strategy for politicians. And why this defection at this very time that happened? It's not what the APC. It's not the pull factor from the APC, it's the push factor from the PDP. If you have a party that has two leadership, as a politician, you know that if you remain in that party, you are already in an ill-fated flight. Because two contending leadership, if you have to contest election, you have to collect a nomination form. So when you have two secretariats of a party, where are you going to go and collect a nomination? If you collect one form and then you fill it and submit it, and then later the court says the faction that you belong is not the faction that is recognized by law. So what are you going to do? So if you look at it, the first time governors who wants to go for the second term, they are the ones who have defected. Because they have to defect because they want to contest election. And you can't contest election in a party that is divided. So the crisis of the PDP pushed people out of the party to the APC. And if you come to the APC, you know that not just it's a ruling party, but it's a party that you're sure that whatever you pick is genuine and is authentic, is real, whether you win or you lose. So, but the defections of governors does not translate to the spirit of the people. Because a governor can defect and the people are resenting. But you can see that the Tinubu administration has achieved in a number of areas and has also challenges in a number of areas. We have seen how the infrastructural projects have been going on. The Lagos-Calabar road, you have seen the Lagos-Badagry-Sokoto road. You have seen the funding for projects in roads across the country. New universities, medical centers are all being built. And there is more money in the hands of governors now, in hundreds of billions, where they are expected, but many of them are not, should use it for poverty alleviation and for projects in their own very states. So these are areas, but where you have a case where people are suspicious is the fact that people think that the elections will not be free and fair.
All right, distinguished. I'm afraid time is not on our side. I think you're one politician that defected not into a ruling party, a reigning party at the time. We don't have enough time. I would have loved to continue the conversation. Many thanks for joining us on Global Morning today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir, for joining us.
It has been a very wonderful time with the former Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who represented the Kaduna Central from 2015 to 2019 at the Senate. And this is the size of this conversation on Global Morning. We'll come on your way again with the next conversation. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo.
And my name is Priscilla Obasi, and just stay tuned. Global Morning continues.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
In that whole discussion is when he was talking about what happened in Kaduna State. On the papers this morning, we're looking at El-Rufai, being angry about certain things, his relationship with the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Their relationship is like two parallel lines.
Two parallel lines that can never meet,
But that is politics. At the end of the day, you might just see an El-Rufai with a Tinubu tomorrow, hugging and shaking hands. We have seen it happen over and over again, where politicians come out on the media, lambast themselves. The same thing happened with Reno Omokri right now and the current
that of Reno Omokri. Well, a lot of people see, if Nigeria government wants to do anything, they'll go ahead and do it. So all these social media, this and that, and do you know that everything that I'm sure represented in court seems not to be working? And of course, some people can tell you, well, these are politicians. Sometimes they say one thing and they mean the other thing. And there is no permanent enemy in politics.
Well, the thing is that Nigerians, again, I would like to say, we are more aware. Yes, you cannot be black and white at the same time. You are either black or white. Even the Holy Book says, if you are neither hot or cold, you'll be spewed out. So you can't stay. You just choose a side and stay. And when you have sworn, when you have pledged solidarity to one person, you come out saying that tomorrow it makes you a double standard human being. It will be on the records that you are double standard. So it's just a lesson. I think it's a big lesson, especially the common Nigerian out there that you want to take sides. During the last elections, people came out to say, oh, if you are not supporting my candidate, we are not going to be friends. I know that you are my enemy. Making all kind of utterances because of politicians that still will love themselves behind closed doors. You come out to the public and defend people and make enemies with your commenters, with your social media friends, with your friends on Facebook and all of that, forgetting that the people you are fighting for are really friends. Tomorrow, Peter Obi's son will wed, and you would see Tinubu attend. It can happen. Tomorrow, an El-Rufai's son would wed, and you would see Tinubu in attendance. Today, we have the likes of Peter Obi and El-Rufai in the same party. What does that tell you? You are free to choose your candidate. It is democracy. But you don't have to impose it on everybody. Yes, we want to make the country work. Yes, we are all angry about the bad leadership. But there is freedom of association. There is freedom of thoughts. There is freedom of your preferred candidates, your choice. So people should understand this. All you can do is just advocate. You don't have to hate people because they don't, have same candidates as you do.
Well, I think sometimes, I tell people, the way Nigerians, the supporters, the electorate, look at these issues is different from the way the politicians see it.
Exactly.
The same person, the same El-Rufai was in APC sometimes.
Yes.
So the same people, before you see them, okay, people who were in PDP and said they were never going to join APC, where are they today?
APC.
Where are they today? So in politics, I don't think there is some permanent enemy. Like there's no permanent friend, there's no permanent enemy. So anything, it's a game of interest.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Somebody like Shehu Sani, who was with us a few minutes ago, was once in a different party. You understand?
Yeah.
But now, where is he? So these are some of these things. Well, as it is, we should just know that everything that happened in Kaduna State, like Shehu Sani was, Senator Shehu Sani was trying to point out now, contributed to some of the reasons why El-Rufai didn't get the ministerial appointment.
Well, is that a fact?
Because there was a case in court.
It's basically still a speculation.
But there was a case in court.
We've had court cases when Tinubu was about to be the president. People came out with every kind of evidence. People came out with every kind of, courts, whatever, verdicts flying left, right, center. Even when the case was in court, when the opposition party took him to court, there was evidence everywhere. But what happened at the end of the day? I mean,
I think the decision of the court is final.
Exactly.
Then the Senate sat, and these are people that were also Nigerians that saw what was happening. And in APC, the president had told us he would work with people who are technocrats, people who are experts, people who are well-meaning Nigerians. And that's exactly what he started with. We have people from other parties in APC working as we speak. So it is an all-encompassing governance because we had different people who were part of the whole situation. But then, I think one other thing is the fact that 2027 is going to come up with probably a lot of shockers. I don't know. There are people who are seeing politics as a profession, as a career. Just, you remember when he said, well, politics is not a profession, isn't it? By some persons, and somebody was like, best people study political science. In my opinion,
politics can be a profession, just as
a career.
It can be a career. Just as you have a doctor that goes to school, goes to medical school,
and end up in the hospital,
ends up being a doctor. You have a lawyer, he goes to study law, goes to the law school, ends up being a lawyer. Why can't I have someone that goes to study political science come out and become a politician? It can be a career.
No, it's possible.
It all depends on, there are different routes to, a particular thing you want. Some people do not necessarily go through studying political science and end up becoming politicians.
But in essence,
I feel that in Nigeria, the thing should be, if you want to be a politician, you can decide to take the political science route. I mean, that's how you get all the knowledge. Is that not supposed to make sense?
But then, it's one thing for you to study political science, and you never assume any political office until the end of your life.
That's because of the Nigerian
even if you have it as your career, you keep pursuing, you keep trying. Don't be surprised you end up becoming a thug for one of these politicians because you said that's your career, that's what you want to practice. So as it is, you can study political science, but if you want to say this is my career, I must wait until it's time for the leaders of tomorrow, you will become a politician one day.
A politician is someone that you must attain an office. A politician is someone that, does...
Okay, you just move around and call yourself a politician.
You can contribute.
Wear agbada up and down.
No, you don't have to know. The activities of what do politicians do?
Politicians occupy political offices.
So you have to occupy. An office can be you trying to speak to the people, rallying around for someone that is still an office.
Okay. You just go talk to people and then you become a politician. What makes you a politician? You practice, you have a political office. Some people will tell you, I'm a politician. But then you can see them at the grassroots, mobilizing, doing that. Well, if you want to look at it as a career, it's a possibility because that's the reason some people go to school. But then, if you're waiting for power to be given to you because you feel it's your career, no, I've seen people who kept trying.
Do you know that?
Who kept trying all their lives.
Leadership is service. I think we miss these things all the time. Leadership is service, and
service to the people.
That is where it starts from. You want to be a politician, you should learn to serve people. You don't have to wait for a political office to start serving. By the time people feel your impact, like you always say, you don't need to make so much noise when it's time for campaigns. Start doing the work of a leader. Start serving the people. They have complaints in your community. They have issues with water. You look for a way to channel, bring community members together and bring a solution. You can, be
that does not make you a politician.
No, that's where it starts from. I'm not saying it makes you. Yes, you don't have to squander all your money. No. You don't have to spend so much money.
Being a philanthropist does not make you a politician.
I'm not. Philanthropists spend money now. I'm not
they
saying
spend
you have
money.
To, I'm not saying you have to.
You who said you want to become a politician
and
be a career politician.
Grassroots. Let's talk about grassroots politics.
You can do grassroots political mobilization.
Yes.
And call yourself, but
you start from there. By the time you are trying to attain an office, people have already felt your impact from the grassroots. There is no road. There is no water. You find a way to, channeling it to the local government council around you or the councillor around you. Just have that be at the forefront of making life better for your community. When you go from there, you already identified yourself, at the local government level. They know that this person is the person that brings complaints to us when we have problems with our primary health care. There's someone that we can talk to. When we don't have good roads and water, there's someone we can talk to. You are always there going to represent the people. The day you say, I want to move from being just a chief servant.
Yeah, just make me a councillor.
That is
the lowest place to start.
I want to now start helping the current local government chairman to, help him with his, I don't know, you can just look for a way to promote yourself.
Possible.
And then you go from there, and then tomorrow you say, okay, can I become a deputy or a vice or something?
A vice chairman.
A vice chairman to assist.
No, I know someone.
It starts from there.
What you're saying is true. I know someone in one of the states who was a media aide to a local government chairman. Then recently, I heard that whether there was an election or not, I don't know what happened. They now made him an APC chairman of that local government.
Okay.
So automatically, from media aide, he's now a politician.
Okay.
So that can actually happen. Most times, for these politicians, there is something we call proper positioning. If you position yourself well, one day the baton may get to you. You mustn't be a governor before you be a politician.
Yes.
You can actually work closely with these people, and they give you an appointment.
Yes.
You can work in their office, all right, carry out political activities. By that, you are not a governor, you are not in the house, but then you are a politician, a grassroots politician.
And another key strategy is getting registered with a party.
No, if you're not a card-carrying member of a particular party, you can't even call yourself. That is the minute thing, the most minute thing. If you don't do that, you can't even call yourself.
I'm saying this because for a while
you need to be a member of a political party before you call yourself a politician. That's where it starts from.
For a very long while, we saw a popular actor, Yul Edochie. He would come out on social media to support to support Tinubu. The whole relaxed Jagaba will fix the country. Over and over again, we saw everything. I were wondering what's happening. This guy is don't worry, they're not gonna give you anything. Nobody go see you. But at the dying minute, we now saw him go get a card. He became a card-carrying member of APC. That's dying minute. So all the while, you would have thought, what was he campaigning for Tinubu for when he was not even in APC? Do you understand? The moment he got that card, the next thing that happened was he became as deputy coordinator of APC in the Southeast. So you can come out and say, I have this interest, but if you don't know the right steps towards it.
Well, I think he may be given that because he's a celebrity. That's one.
No, it's not just being a celebrity. The guy has actually been trying his best to campaign. People have insulted him. People have trolled him for trying to push Tinubu's mandate. He has done. It's not. I'm telling you at this point.
Well, maybe entertainment is failing him, so he needs an alternative. You know,
course.
all this the marriage saga, so many things.
Yeah.
He was beginning to lose, you know, relevance. His place, relevance in the entertainment scene. Nollywood, probably he's trying to change. Probably change course to maybe
there's the time
politics.
There's the time he came out as governorship candidate for his state, Anambra State. I forgot.
Okay.
2020.
Okay, maybe he was in APGA or something.
Yes, was it APGA? I can't really remember, but I know one of those.
Because he just got the membership card for APC. So yes. It's now that he can do anything under APC. Probably he's still not in that ambition. It's possible.
Yes, what I'm just trying to point out is you can have an ambition in your head, but if you don't take the right steps, you might just
with action.
Exactly. So sometimes Nigerians are ignorant on how do I even become a politician? How can I lend my voice? Because this is where the lawmaking happens at the House of Assembly, at the House of Representatives. That is where lawmaking happens. The worst you can do, or the best you can do, is protest as a citizen, right? But if you really want to have an impact, find a way to strategize yourself to be part of people that make the laws. Because we cannot be shouting tomorrow, youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and we don't know how to become the leaders of tomorrow. You don't even know what is happening today. Do you understand? So if you really want to be a leader of tomorrow, you need to know what is happening today and how to strategize yourself to belong to people that make decisions of tomorrow. It is a strategy. It is not just having, having a keypad to type, I am angry, when are we going to take over, when will the youth take over, and you don't even know you are not a card carrying member of any party, you don't understand politics, nothing whatsoever. You're just angry, when are we going to take over? You don't know what it means to create a political party. You don't have the knowledge whatsoever.
But you know that we have the Not Too Young to Run now as a registered organization also.
Is it a party?
It's not a party.
Is it a political party?
It's not a political party, but then these are people trying to put their wings behind a move. Let's get to social media. You remember in 2023, a lot of people said, Labour Party, which one is Labour Party? Who knows Peter Obi? What is Labour Party? What is obedience? They don't have structure. It's just a social media. It's just all these students making noise. It's a social media party. But can you remember what happened on the day of election? First time in Nigeria, I see somebody going to bring generator, somebody is bringing canopy, somebody is an electrician. People who do handwork, any small thing, they'll say, if they don't want to charge yourself, they'll say, anything you have, give me. People like that were even coming out to fix wires, to make sure there is light, without anyone coercing them to do that.
I'm telling you.
So now, let's talk about the youth now. The power of social media. I know a lot of politicians are already taking advantage of it. The new media, all right, the online thing, we have the new media, which is the online media, the bloggers, the content creators, and all of that. I am foreseeing that with time, all right, this social media is going to become a serious instrument, tool for campaigning and probably, all right, checkmating the activities of politicians. A lot of people were not in Abuja to join this protest, the real-time e-transmission of election results protest. But do you know the kind of support they had on social media? There were people there who were even live. Yeah. This is what is happening. They want to bring election. This is what they are saying. And people, you see the support on social media, see the reaction. And from that, it is spreading. Somebody in the village or somewhere very far can pick a phone and call and say, hey, I am seeing you. What are you doing? What are you doing there? People's parents. And the person will say, Mama, this is what is happening. Don't vote for this person, in case of 2027 and all of that. So the new media have a way right now of influencing a lot of things.
Absolutely.
So social media, the youth, well, I don't know when the takeover time is going to be. I don't know when the youth will take over. But then, with what is happening, all right, because even people who are analog are becoming digital, and people are embracing tech. Imagine us having a compulsory e-transmission real time of election results. Compulsory. It means you need to go and learn. I'm even foreseeing that there could be a time in this country that will start electronic voting. It's a possibility if we want to achieve it.
I mean, it's
just to do orientation, educate the people. We have a voters education department at the INEC. We have the National Orientation Agency. We have the Ministry of Information. And we have civil society organizations. We have the media. So educating Nigerians on what to do should not be an issue.
That's why I just laugh when I hear that it is not possible when you see senators, especially the one from my state, that came out to say.
You've been so particular about this one from Imo State. You're from Imo, right?
I'm from Abia State.
Abia State. Okay.
Governor Ojiso coming out to say that we don't have network. He didn't have network in this village, and I'm like, are you not supposed to be ashamed of yourself? Like, you were a governor for 2 terms. 8 good years, and you don't have network in your village.
Does it have problem with internet service providers? Because if you even call them to come and mount their mast, they will rush.
Gladly.
It's a market.
So how can a governor 2-term, it's a governor that served for 2 good terms,
strong, beautiful,
current senator,
wonderful years,
current senator, he's not a person, current senator come out publicly in the house to say, I don't have network in my village. Like, how does it sound?
You are pained, though.
It's embarrassing. So what have you been doing in your village? Who are you representing? What development have you brought? It means that your village people are still wearing leaves. That's what it means. They still wear animal skin. That's
Adam and Eve.
That's Adam and Eve in your village without network. Your village people are still in the 19th
I sorry
century.
for Abia people.
Abia is getting better, of course. We have a new governor. Governor Oti is doing amazing.
Okay, Alex Oti is far better than...
Alex Oti has done what? I think it's...
So he's better than Ojiso Okalu?
Of course, you can't even compare. Like, there is no room for such comparison. And I think it's part of the agenda. I am speculating that the agenda is to do all it takes, because there have been this comparison. There was a time it trended on social media where Governor Ojiso Okalu came out to say the roads that Alex Oti is currently building are the roads that he had done. And I'm like, Alex is just painting. He's repainting. I'm like, wow.
Okay, they're painting it like house.
He's just painting it like a house.
Renovation.
It's a renovation. Do you know how we suffered?
Politicians. Some of them are so clueless.
I'm telling you.
Some politicians, some leaders, not even politicians.
I'm telling you. So
some leaders are so clueless.
It looks like there's a strategic move. There's a strategic effort to rig elections so that comparison will stop. It's just like how people will compare in the Bible, how people compare David to Saul. It looks like that's what is happening right now in Abia State.
You remember it was women that did that thing. That almost caused problem.
The comparison is, I mean, people have used it to mock him. People have used it to make a caricature of former governor, current senator Ojiso Okalu, and there's just this agenda. I think there is the motive to say no. This guy, I mean, don't worry, it's a human thing. You want to say no, this guy cannot continue embarrassing me. All the things I did not do it is not visible. Abia State was like one of the worst states in Nigeria, because talk about road. It was Aba is it's supposed to be the China of Nigeria. Aba is a commercial city. It is supposed to be, but people travel to Aba to get goods to sell all over Nigeria. Yeah. And then we have the roads. I've been to
Aba before.
The roads leading to Aba. Terrible then. But if you go to Abia State now, I mean, it is beautiful. Electricity, he has done so much, and the agenda is okay. This guy cannot keep being.
But they fixed that road, especially the one from Port Harcourt to Aba.
The roads are That is the problem. That is that's what's causing the whole.
Is that what Oti is painting?
Yes, that's what he's painting. It's not what they have alleged that he's painting. That he's just painting roads. You can imagine how you water down someone's effort, basically because you've not been able to do it. And these are the politicians we have.
But how did he even get to the Senate in the first place? If you know that he didn't perform, you are from Abia State. You know, how did he get there? How did you vote for him?
The question is, did we vote for him?
Oh, he just got there.
We know how
this is an allegation. This is you have been accused of senator, distinguished.
And it's part of the agenda to say, okay, well, if we allow this electronic voting to be passed, we know that it will not happen the way it happened last time. This is not the first time that they are trying to use electronic transmission of results. It happened in 2023, and Nigerians were not really aware. We said, oh, because they convinced us. You said you had a guest here that talked about how this thing will work. It will work like magic. I had a friend in my house and that came to tell me, they brought Beavers. Beavers is going to do this. Beavers is going to do that. There's not going to be anything like rigging. I just looked at him, then I said, are you serious? I think we don't know Nigeria. And you believed. That's why I said, they were trying to convince me. I said, no, these people have their strategy. You cannot beat them. But Nigerians are more aware this time around, and they are willing to put in their best foot, their front foot, their everything to make sure that this network is not glitched. People will go with their routers. The only thing I'm asking from these political parties, especially the opposition, is to ensure that voter education goes to the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, to the villages, the rural communities. It is not just about making all the, it's not just about the cities, the urban centers. These people are already aware. They should channel that energy, all this energy, to be channeled to rural communities. That way, I think the impact will indeed be felt.
Yes, I was just thinking aloud, if there are states or communities in Nigeria where they don't use phone, no cell phone, no handset.
I don't think so. But although that is a question for research.
Yes.
Yes.
Because even if there is, it could be there, but not very strong. And these internet service providers, these telecom companies are so serious. They are out for business. So they go to nook and crannies to make sure there is network. If yours is not strong, by the time your competitors are coming into that community, they come with a stronger network, and all of that. So I know there might be one or two that may not have full internet service, maybe one or two, not so much. But I feel that can be fixed between now and 2027 if we really want to do it.
We're talking about
give the contract out. Well, I'm not calling the name of any company, but you were talking about, Natasha, talking about a particular internet service provider, which is new in Nigeria, but have been very, very fantastic. In fact, there is an organization that spoke fantastically about them. We could even get a better one. If this is the reason that I need this internet, there is a way you run your fiber, all right, that it will drag good internet for you. So these things are achievable. We have enough money. Do you know how much is being voted for every election, especially national election?
1 point.
Not by election.
1.01 trillion has been allocated.
Trillion naira
has been allocated for elections.
So what are they doing with the money? Ballot boxes, movement of material, payment of ad hoc staff?
That's the question. What are we doing with the money? You want to tell me we cannot use 1 trillion naira to run elections? Electronic transmission of results and not succeed.
Perfectly. I think it's going to work perfectly.
Go and call that tech guy. Go and call those Nigerian IT guys. Go to universities and fish them out. The ones doing their PhDs, the ones doing their masters, the ones even in their undergraduates. They will do this thing clean. They will do it clean. We have IT guys traveling abroad, going for greener pastures, doing excellently abroad.
Yeah, sure.
So what are we saying? We are intelligent. When we go out there, we excel. Why can't we harness the minds, our brilliant minds, and use them productively for the growth of our economy and for the growth of Nigeria, for the growth of our democracy? Our leaders know. They travel around the world. They see how these things work. But somehow, they just feel like, I don't want to implement it because when I do, it affects my pockets. When I implement this technology, somehow I will no longer benefit. I will be swiped away because I am not updated. I cannot handle it. Then they now bring people, archaic people to head positions so that they will not come and overtake them. Because you cannot bring someone that's smarter than you to come and work for you.
Someone asked a question and he was asking, if you go to the IC department in INEC, how advanced are they? You know, somebody was asking that question and I sat down and I was like, no, INEC have what it takes. If we mean we want to use technology in these processes, which is more seamless, cost effective, accurate and excellent.
Yes.
We can do it. All right. But then, are we prepared for it? That's the issue. Then coming to talk about these communities, some people are of the school of thought that probably you know, the rigging of election, as it is being alleged, happen more in the rural areas.
Of course.
Where the road is bad. You are even doing anything there. The people don't even know what you are doing.
Do they even understand English?
They don't. In some places, they don't even understand English. So they don't even know what you are doing. The manipulations and all of that, they don't even know. But if there is internet in that place, you know, those things, if it's electronic, it's real time. As you're doing, it is bam, you know, hitting the potter, you know. So it's like some people are trying to truncate this idea because it will stop their agenda, probably. I don't know.
Another thing that people suggested after the last elections is that why not INEC adopt putting faces on the ballot papers instead of just party, I think just logos.
Yes, just logos.
Logos is what is represented.
That's why you hear Brumo, umbrella, umbrella.
These logos, I don't think they are doing enough. Right? I think we're not voting parties. We are voting personalities.
They should even use electronic billboards.
Yes.
The person's picture.
Yes.
Bold, then the box is under it.
Exactly.
This one bold, the box is, but people will lose election.
I'm telling you, so when we just use only party, then that's why we are voting parties. And we need to move away from democracy of party or elections of party. We should vote individuals.
Capacity.
That is something that INEC should adopt, because when you bring unpopular parties, you know, people just go for it, especially for other positions like the House of Rep positions and other, you know, positions that is not just focused on the president and gubernatorial elections. You see that people don't even know. They only go for popular parties. You don't even see the person you're voting for. You say, this party looks, I've been seeing APC. I've been seeing PDP.
Umbrella.
I've been seeing Labour Party. I don't know if Labour Party itself will be, because right now they are not in the conversation anymore. Since
so because
left the party and
Abure, Nemadi,
the whole drama. A lot is going to play out though.
I don't even know. Wait, let me ask. I'm thinking the PDP have faction. ADC has
ADC doesn't have faction.
ADC doesn't have faction. For now, ADC is just coming up. ADC is trying to put its house in order. They just appointed, 50 wise men and women to put up their manifesto. I think I'm going to be hosting one of them pretty soon so that we can talk about the necessity of that and the impact and effect of manifesto in governance as far as Nigerian politics is concerned. I think we need to look at all those areas because some of these things are done in form of an activity. Every electioneering year, this is to be done. NESG will call for this. This media station will call for media pally. This one will call for debates. This thing is looking at, it's a routine. This is what we need to do. This is what happens during electioneering year. But the impact, are we really feeling the impact and all of that? Because for you to set up 50 wise men and women committee to put up a manifesto, it goes a long way. Probably it could be another tactic to get those people into the party. I've had someone say, but I'm not a member of their party. How do they appoint me? How do they nominate me? How do they get to know about me and all of that? Someone have said so before, and I'm looking at it as part of the strategy probably to get those people into the party, use their influence and bring in their fans, their relatives and friends, people related, connected and associated with them. It could be a strategy. But then coming to talk about the unity among political parties. You know, I was asking someone a question and I said, what do you think will happen? Because APC before now took a very strong, they made a very strong move by coming together. All right, different parties are coming together to form APC. And one of those parties is the party that this current president belongs. They came together and they formed that alliance, and we have APC today. So we should be thinking, if not that politics has been termed or positioned as a game of interest, and that's the reason in ADC, for instance, you hear that there is a rumor that Peter Obi and Kwankwaso may be collaborating in ADC, even though Kwankwaso is not in ADC at the moment. And of course, the Atiku Abubakars of this world were thinking otherwise. If that happens, what's going to happen to my ambition? These are people that have contested for elections time and time again. Then sometimes you'll be wondering, what is there on that seat? All right, these are men of influence in their various areas. They are not poor. The current president of Nigeria was a rich man, was a wealthy man before he became a president. But he said, this is my town. I need to be there. And he's there right now. Somebody like Atiku Abubakar has contested election, not once, not twice. And he's coming again. He's been a vice president of Nigeria under Olusegun Obasanjo, even though there was a fallout at a point, but then he was in that office until that tenure expired. So you begin to look at the disgruntled members of these various parties, and then you begin to think, what will happen if PDP, ADC, NNPP, Labour Party, and other parties, Showrace Party, AAC, all come together, all right? Especially those of them that are making impacts at different levels, come together and form an alliance against the All Progressive Congress in 2027. But that cannot be possible because in each of these parties, there are people, okay, aspiring to be presidential candidates of these various parties. And that's where the problem is. So if not until we'll find a way of burying our personal ambition, personal interest, and bring together one single cause, all right, taking Nigerians into cognizance, it will be very difficult for us to have the real democracy that we were preached to. And of course, Nigerians would not be satisfied with a lot of activities of politicians in this part of the world.
Well, at the end of the day, only one person will emerge, and that person will pick people to be in his cabinet. It can be a female. We're not talking about a female president, by the way, but that's a conversation.
No, we can have them, but no one is even coming out to say, I want to be a president.
Well, we can. That conversation is what we should have maybe the next Global Morning edition. But I believe that the Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections should be a litmus test, like the INEC chairman has said. This electronic voting now and transmission of results, I know that it should be implemented.
Is there going to be a test run in this FCT council election?
It should be. Whatever is decided on now is what will be used for the FCT. Well, we need to have one of those maybe candidates or one of those people involved at the forefront of the affairs of the FCT area council elections to help us analyze and understand what will play out. You know, I think this weekend, or is it next weekend? Next weekend at the elections of the area council elections, various councils in Abuja. So fingers are crossed. Our fingers are crossed to see how Professor Josh Amopitan leads, and brings out this election so that we learn our lessons for 2027.
I think this is going to be part of the litmus test for him too, because now we are having ballot paper and of course e-transmission of electoral results real time. But then I'm even expecting INEC to send the voters education officer to global television to educate Nigerians. Exactly. All right. A lot. I've not seen that happening, but then I don't know what the reason is. Probably they are still warming up for that time. Coincidentally, this is going to be the size of Global Morning for today. It's been a very wonderful time with every one of you there. Before we go, we would like to let you know that the opinions of our guests is entirely theirs. Our Global Television does not have a part in it. Same thing with the editorials of the various newspaper headlines. Global Television does not have an editorial contribution to those headlines. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo.
And I am Priscilla Obasi, and this is we, the Global Morning crew, wishing you a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debate, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
for the latest issues,
always on point.
Watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.